So I have to ask, is Windows 10 popular in Canada, Dank? Good morning, Osprey. Okay, how's sound? Is there any sound now? Okay, thank you. Three people use Windows 10. Well, that's three out of how many millions of people? You can hear audio? Is the audio loud enough? Okay, I'm just playing some music in the background, so what I did, I downloaded some tunes off the YouTube audio library. It's free. A lot of it is free, no copyright, or some of it you do have to post where it came from in the bottom. Okay, cool, cool. So we'll wait a few more minutes, see how many people join on. Tonight we'll be doing a comparison, or at least I will try to do a comparison between Windows 10 and audio. Yeah, audio, Ubuntu Mate. I have the audio on my mind. It seems like on YouTube, Ubuntu Mate is unanimously, well, thumbs up. Everybody loves it. Some of you may know that Ubuntu Mate is my Linux gold standard as of last year, for beginners at least anyway. And I think for a lot of people who want a true alternative to Windows 10, if not a replacement, at least an alternative or a choice, Ubuntu Mate or Mate is, in my opinion, it's the way to go. Sounds good. Hello, Jackie. How are you? Where are you from, Jackie, if I may ask? Lamer Linux, hello. I didn't hook up my webcam for this evening. I figure most of you know how I look like and who I am. So, Ubuntu Mate is one of my favorite. Okay. GNOME Desktop, my favorite distro. Okay, well, next year I believe Unity is going away in favor of GNOME. So the question is, will GNOME find a home? In many homes. Covert Linux, hello. Welcome. Wasn't sure how many people would join on a, what is it, Tuesday evening. But I wanted to do this because it's been in my mind to try and compare Windows 10 and Ubuntu Mate. And I wanted to wait till the final version was released. I haven't heard of any major bugs in Ubuntu Mate, and everybody likes it on YouTube. Ubuntu Mate reminds me of OG GNOME too. Yeah. Yep. Ubuntu before they switched to Unity was GNOME 2. 10 p.m. for you. Okay, cool, Dank. LN. Hello. You use Ubuntu because of GNOME 2. Well, right now Ubuntu Mate is the closest thing to Mark Kennedy from Australia. How are you, mate? Mark, I forget which part of our Australia are you from, Mark? GNOME 2 on Arch. Okay, MC. Very good. And because they use Unity, I stop. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Sounds cool. So shortly here I'll be talking a little bit about Windows 10 and yeah, so Windows 10, Ubuntu Mate, I'll try to do a fair comparison as much as I can. So Melbourne, very good, Mark. You are 11 hours ahead of me? So I believe it is tomorrow morning for you, Mark, if I am correct. I used to do the podcast with IG from Tasmania. Kevin, you are my number one fan. Thank you, Kevin. Greatly appreciated. Ubuntu Mate is very good. You installed it yesterday. Great. Yeah, Kevin, thank you for the super chat. If you guys would like to help support this channel, as many of you know, or if you don't know, this year, YouTube advertisers, it's a big mess. YouTube's trying to figure it out. AdSense revenue is down 1108. Okay, cool, Mark. For a lot of YouTubers, especially for the little ones like me, at least semi-little. So any help you guys can give for the channel, that would be appreciated to do more live events at different time zones. And Super Chat is one way. The Super Chat symbol is this thing here at the bottom. And you can give, I think, $1 up to $500. So Kevin, thank you again. Yeah, what's up? One of my friends does it more better than I do. He goes, "What's up?" It sounds snarky, Kevin, but anyway, what's up? Yes. If you guys want to, you can also support the channel through Patreon. This is something I started a few years ago. I kind of abandoned it because I wasn't sure if it was legit, and Kevin says it is legit. So the Patreon page is up. Okay, one more minute, then I'll go into what I have to say for this evening. Thank you, all of you who joined for this evening. Great to have you here. Massacre, Lord. Hello. Don't you hate how Microsoft took away the ways people used to be able to block tracking on Home Pro editions of Windows 10, disabling the Digitrack service? Yeah. I'll talk a little bit about that, Kevin. Yeah, Patreon is legit. Yes, it is. You told me in one of the last episodes, and one of my podcast partners, one of my friends on YouTube, uses that for her music. So I feel much better now, Kevin, that I realize I know Kevin is totally legit. Patreon is legit. So thank you. Yeah, if I can get enough, if I can reach the first goal on Patreon or through donations, I intend to do more live events at different time zones. That's one way for me of giving something back. I was debating the other day what goals to set or what rewards. So anyway, Ubuntu Mate is good for me. For new users, it's either Linux Lite or Linux Mint. I've tried Linux Lite. I use Linux Mint now. Well, not right now. Right now I'm into Windows 10. I was debating whether to do this in Windows 10 or Linux Mint Mate, guys. But you know what? Linux Mint or Windows 10 works. Never mind distro, just to be just old GNOME 2. Yeah, a GNOME 3, it's gotten better. I'll probably download it again and maybe do a full live event on GNOME Shell from a Windows perspective like myself. And I can tell you, I don't think I say I'll hate GNOME 3, but I'm not crazy about it. But my perspective may change. Okay, Dank says, with Windows 10 I use Spybot Anti-Beacon and NoTrack combined. Pretty good combo if you update them every month. That is true, but once you do updates, Dank, as far as I know, it resets everything. You have to go back in and set it again the way you want to, which is not fun at all. So, yeah. Limber Linux, you like GNOME 3. Is there any specific reason why? And do you like it better, or is it neutral for you compared to Ubuntu Unity? Mark, I have not. I probably will, or I'll be forced to, although I believe there are some tweaks to prevent forced updates. Mark, I have not. If you have tried it, what can you tell me? But I will wait. So far, none of the updates have crashed my system, Mark, but I prefer to wait to the last minute. Ubuntu itself was supposed to be one of the easiest Linux distros, but lately due to some recent updates that have been on Ubuntu 17.04, some apps have trouble displaying notifications on Unity. Okay, yeah, I prefer LTSs when it comes to Linux because of what I do. So yeah. Haha, you'll be forced to eventually. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for the. Mark, there are tweaks. I have not tried them yet. There are little tips and tweaks supposedly to prevent forced updates. I don't know. Lamer says Windows 10 actually killed your parents' computer. Oh no. I thought it was a virus scanner with bootable antivirus, and you mean it just wouldn't boot? I haven't had any major issues. I mean, besides my personal issues with Windows 10, which I'll talk about. C128D, welcome aboard. You can configure anti-beacon to reload all immunizations upon boot up. Is that true with the latest Creators Update, though? I'm not sure. Everything went fine with the Creators Update. Did a backup and system image just to be safe. Okay, yeah, you should look. Whatever you do, whatever you use, dual boot or not, backup, 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 period. And I do not use software to back up. I back up on a couple big external hard drives, multiple USB sticks, backup. Keep it simple. Tweaks for disabling updates on Windows 10. Just disable the Windows Updates service. I believe that's one of the ways. And I believe there's a tweak in the registry that I may try. You need to be careful when messing with the registry. But I believe Massacre, yes, that is when. Well, only an idiot would install Creators Update. It's still a beta stage. I thought it was. Thank you, C. Well, then an idiot is B. Oh, my. I'm sure it was nothing personal. Another idiot's Mark. Jeez. Welcome to another idiot live event here on the Total. I'm just kidding, just kidding. I love all you guys. Covert Linux. Still another until another update gets pushed to turn the update service back on. Oh, Windows. When you guys don't listen to me, you tick people off. Okay, well, let's get started with what I have to say. I'll try and monitor your comments as best I can. So anyway, if you're joining late or watching this and choose not to comment, this is the Total OS Today Technology channel. Yes, Total Technology for beginners and beyond. I dual boot. I am a Windows user that promotes Linux at least as an alternative. Maybe more than that. I've been doing this for over 7 years. I was one of the first, if not the first. I can't really prove it either way. I'm still here, still doing this. And if you would like to support this channel, it's greatly appreciated through Super Chat, PayPal, and Patreon, and Amazon links. You're gonna have your hands full. Ventos. See, yeah, but that's okay. I'm a bigger boy, and I can handle it. See what I'm saying? Well, let's get started with what I have to say. Well, as you see here in front of you, this is Windows 10. This is how I have, I guess, customized it. Basically, I did a reset or recovery. There is a recovery mode setting in Windows 10 that you can reset it back to the beginning, sort of, without deleting your documents and music and stuff like that. So that's what I did, cleaned it out, and it runs better. Problem with drivers in Linux. The only problems I have is with video, with the graphics drivers. I cannot get the updated or the, I call them the extra drivers. But the proprietary drivers in Linux is a hit and miss. Anime Zerhuni. Hello. Yes. Okay, so again, what I did, I got this tweak sort of to the way that I want it. I try not to download a lot of apps because that tends to slow things down. As you can see here, I have, Firefox, there'll be a Studio, Opera, VirtualBox, or Audacity, software from HTC Phone. I downloaded a couple defraggers. Now, there's nothing wrong with the built-in defragger in Windows, but I have Logics I've used for many, many years. So this is Windows 10 here, obviously. And you know how, well, I'll show you that Ubuntu Mate has the welcome screen, welcome and get acquainted. Maybe Windows 10 should have an unwelcome screen, or a screen or a welcome screen that says, welcome to Windows 10, glad to have you here. Please be advised on how we do updates and or how we collect data. If they would have been more upfront with that, I believe less and less people would have had issues with Windows 10, but I believe they missed the boat with that. So Windows 10 for me does work. I don't recall any crashes. Well, I take that back, guys. I had my very first blue screen of death since Windows Vista. So it's been pretty reliable for me. The two issues I have with the Windows 10, of course, gaming is terrific in Windows, usually is. So if you like to game, it's getting better in Linux. It's not quite there yet. Drivers in Ubuntu 16.04, AMD graphics, yeah, that's what I have. I use Massacre. I use the open source drivers that came with the download. I don't have any extra drivers, as I call them. There are no proprietary video drivers for my specific system, but it seems to work. I do have the occasional, my screen goes blank, Massacre and Linux Mint at random times, but it comes back on. You don't notice it, but I do, and I'm willing to live with that for now. So yes, Mark, welcome to Spyware 10. Okay, so let's I won't go into the whole thing with Windows 10. You guys know what it is, what it looks like. The core operating system, in my opinion, is fine. It works the way it should. It appears stable in multiple machines. I think the concern with Windows 10 for most people is the politics of it. Windows 10 is the most unusual OS. It's loved and hated at the same time because, once again, well, let's go into, for example, let's just type in privacy here, and I think this is what happened here. Yes, you can go into here and adjust your privacy settings. There should have been, in my opinion, and let me know what you guys think about this, but there should have been a master on-off switch for this, meaning there should be something at the top or to the left in big red letters that says, if you wish to share nothing, hit that switch. Simple. And then you can go back and choose, okay, well, I'll share some of my bugs and maybe you can help make it better and stuff like that. But there should have been a master on-off switch for privacy settings. Another thing I don't like is, go to updates. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so as you see here, good news. The Windows 10 Creators Update is on its way. Of course, the question is that truly good news? I guess if it works, great. Once again, there should have been a master on-off switch. I mean, just in the interest of disclosure, yes, Zenaris, how are you? A master on-off switch would be great. Tell us that would make it easy that everyone would choose that option. Well, I think that's fair, or at least be more transparent about it. Linux, Windows, there is a benefit with them collecting crash reports, data that helps them fix bugs. Windows 10 is okay, but the key logging is ridiculous. Yeah. Have not had issues with AMD drivers on Windows 10 personally, Massacre. But if it would have been more transparent, I think there would have been less of an uproar from consumers, because they didn't find out about it till someone like me or somebody else says something. So a master on-off switch, a welcome screen in Windows, or an unwelcome screen, however you guys want to call it, and just to say, hey, this is how this specific OS operates, and then the consumer can go from there if they choose to use Windows 10 or not, or go to an alternative in Linux, and that's what I will talk about. So as far as yeah, my two main issues with Windows 10, the forced updates are a major pain, and the privacy issue, being forced to go and tweak privacy and tweak the forced updates process. The core system, I believe, is fine. It does appear to be stable. So Nara says, I think collecting crash reports should come with an on-off option too, because it is known that crash reports, logs, dump transmit. Well, that's fine. I guess the point of all this was to be more transparent, and they were not. And the new update, I believe, makes it a little bit easier to be more private from what I saw, guys. But it's still, I think there was a headline, a blog that says Windows 10 is still nosy. Well, there you go. Kevin says, I lift the lid of my Chromebook, enter my password, and voila, I'm on the internet in under 10 seconds. Kevin, that is awesome. Terrific. Really, 10 seconds? Well, I have heard Chromebooks are pretty fast. Great. The Creators Update has included a screen where you can turn privacy settings. Is that like a master switch, and is it truly off? I don't know. I don't think anyone is against sending crash reports, but they collect everything you do. Anime, yeah, that is the problem. And I don't think there was a need for that. First time you install Windows 10, Alan? Really? Interesting. And is it working for you? Any bugs or anything? I love this song. Anyway, it's not a master switch, but at least more transparent. Mark, okay, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Okay, there are bugs. Lift the lid on laptop, wait Windows to load, enter my password, wait 5 seconds, voila, 30 seconds. Yeah, that means Windows 10 is definitely faster. Absolutely. Sonoris, I have not. I'm going to wait till I'm forced to download, install Creators Update, I believe by next month. Bugs, problem with dual boot, Alan. Okay, sorry to hear that. Ubuntu, when you turn privacy security settings, they are actually off. That is true. There is nothing in the background as far as I know. John, sure. Hello, John. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining me for this evening. My work computer was just upgraded from 7 to 10. The only upside is I could get access to Ubuntu Bash on Windows. Okay. John, do you find, putting aside the privacy and the other stuff that I've talked about, update process, do you feel that Windows 10 is smoother and faster? It is for me, at least when I did a system reset. I've tested it on dual core and quad core machines, and it seems okay. So I do believe, at least for me, in my test, Windows 10 is smoother and faster. Dank says, I think the Creators Update is on the way. Is telling you something, Toss. Yeah, well, I may have to try some tweaks to shut that off. I'm a me 7478 says, I guess you could say Microsoft is a bit opaque about the whole privacy situation. Just a little bitsy. I would say so. Yeah. Okay, so those are my thoughts on Spire's update will be awesome. Thank you, Mr. Bond. It seems smoother and faster, but no less opinionated and frustrating. Sarcasm. Yeah, John, I would have to agree. You know, when Windows 8 came out, and I'll be fully transparent myself, if you have not seen that video, guys, when Windows 10 came out, I thought it looked slick because it was different. And I did a video on it. I gave my honest opinion. It was in beta back then, and I think I told Microsoft, or told you guys, told the world, all that's missing is a start button, and you have a winner in Windows 8. But nobody listened to me. There was a lot of backlash. Then Windows 10 came out with the start menu, start button, whatever you want to call it. But they kind of messed it up in other ways. So that's all I have to say about that. Windows Enterprise is the only version of Windows 10 that lets you completely turn off anime. Is that for real? I mean, meaning what I mean is 100% you can turn it off, turn off data. Is that true? Adverts update also get a lot of attention. Yeah. Yeah, and then how do you know that the what's it called, that the telemetry is completely shut off? How do you know that? I guess there's ways to find out. I'm not really sure. Okay, let me go ahead and go into Ubuntu here while you guys chat. Need to get a bigger monitor when I have the budget for it. Anyway, okay, so privacy issues for enterprise. Okay, well, I've talked about Ubuntu Mate before, and you know, when I first looked at this, there was something about it, and this was in response to, I guess, Unity. Not everybody liking Unity, and this is what Ubuntu was. Let me just full screen it here, guys. This is what Ubuntu was. Yeah, before they switched to Unity. And how do you know telemetry is completely turned or off? Give me a jackhammer. I'll show you how. Okay. Grandma L. Hello. Windows 7 was Microsoft's best invention. After they stopped supporting Windows 7, you stopped caring about them. Okay. Anyway, with Ubuntu Mate here, this is my first introduction to Linux. Pre-Unity days with Ubuntu back in 06 and 07, and I thought I liked it because it was simple, and Ubuntu Mate is simple. It wasn't slick. This isn't slick, but it's not meant to be. Yeah, I definitely could use a bigger monitor, lamer in Linux. But Ubuntu Mate and pre-Unity Ubuntu was just meant to work. And, you know, you've seen these before, applications, places, system. And if you do let me just get and turn on, go into Synapse. If I type in privacy, not really much there. If let me see. If I go to, let me just type in update actually. See if it'll pop up in a virtual machine. There we go. There's nothing here about collecting your data. Nothing here. Ubuntu software. Yeah, I know that pop-out screen's gonna go out here. But updates, authentication, and you've probably seen this before, but there is nothing here in the updates that forces you. So obviously with Linux you have more control, and that's how it should be with Windows, in my opinion. And with them not being more transparent about it, a lot of people are ticked off. Some of you might remember last year, Ubuntu Mate all the way. I only have Windows because of network drivers. Okay, in Visual Studio. Okay, you guys remember last year the newscast, weather forecast, live on the news, and guess what popped up on the screen? Oh, look, there's a Windows update to install live on TV. Quite embarrassing, I would say, for Windows, but apparently not embarrassing enough. Lamer says you like XFCE and Mate. Okay. Yes, it is true. I believe TOS or else business will complain. Well, I think they are complaining, and I don't know. I don't. Maybe Microsoft is listening a little bit. Somebody said that it's a little bit more transparent with the creators update. I don't know. I like the speed of Ubuntu Mate. I like the simplicity of it. It's what I call click and go. Somebody coming from a Windows environment should not have any issues navigating through this here. There are apps that are cross-platform, such as Firefox, Rhythmbox, one of my favorite music players. I'm using in Windows, I'm using Media Monkey. So if you guys use Windows, check out Media Monkey. The free player is awesome. There's a plug for Media Monkey. Unity is indeed built on GNOME 3, which is why it isn't much of a stretch to ditch Unity and adopt GNOME. Okay. Hate to say this, Windows 10 is the most secure OS on the market. Well, it's certainly the most secure Windows, as well it should be. Haven't had any issues, Sonaris, with malware that much in the Windows 10. Of course, I take care of it. But I would say, yeah, I would have to say Linux in general is probably the most secure, and probably next is Mac, based on Unix. Transparency is nice, but they ended up butchering so many options, registry hacks. Yeah, and for a for mom and pop, you can't expect them to go into the registry, especially if they never saw the registry before and say, "What the heck is this?" That's not user friendly. That's why I'm leery, even for myself, to go into the registry. Yeah, Lamer, a woman did actually sue Microsoft, messed up her. I think she had a real estate business and erased all her contracts or contacts or something. Again, there's nothing wrong with updates, but notifications is all that we need. We don't need to be forced. I understand that part of the updates are security in nature, and that is needed, but it was not implemented very well. A very well-known, respected InfoSec expert says that Win 10, when configured properly, is the most secure OS you can get. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should ask Quids up. He's more into security. Compositor. Yeah, I use Compiz, sometimes Linux Mint for the cube and all that special effects. Dobry says hi all. Hello, welcome. Dobry, may I ask where are you from? I am curious. Yeah, I'll end. Depending on the graphics driver, you may or may not be able to use Compiz. I can use that in my machine. It slows things down a little bit, but at least it's stable. Yeah. If you go backdoor secure, well, the backdoor is secure, right? Oh my. Serbia. Very nice. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Bruce Schneier is the InfoSec expert. Very good. Okay, so as I was saying with Ubuntu Mate, easy to learn. The default applications here, something like this, and this is in a virtual machine. If I was to replace Linux Mint with this, I would have to install Kdenlive and screen recorder and stuff like that. Of course, for me, it's not that big of a deal. VLC, very good. for media. Babs Watkins. Hello, Babs. What is this? Well, you are watching a live event with me, Toss Today, and I've been comparing Windows 10 and Ubuntu Mate. Babs, you're late for class. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome aboard. Babs, if I may ask, what do you use? Do you use Windows and or Linux? But yeah, I was comparing Windows 10. I'm running Ubuntu Mate in a virtual machine, and basically my two issues with Windows 10 is the forced updates and the privacy stuff issues. Yeah, the telemetry. So Babs, that's what I'm trying to what I've been comparing. So that's what this is. I think that's what your question means. So okay, where was I? So yeah, VLC, great media player, and of course even for Windows nowadays there are many choices. GDebi, great package manager. A10 APU. Okay. Let me see here. The Software Boutique. I've talked about this before. Great for beginners. Yeah, John, I've heard about the Ryzen APUs. That is something fairly new, right? Yeah. Run Manjaro with KD on all of my machines. I couldn't be any happier. Very good. There was a Windows 9. Okay. I guess Microsoft was thinking a perfect 10. Babs, you have two servers running. Okay. Babs, what Linux do you use, if I may ask? He has an ARS. The Software Boutique it's just smart. Martin Wimpress, the developer with this, had the opportunity to talk with him last year before. It's just a down-to-earth guy, very smart. He knows what people want. Absolutely. And I believe that Linux, Ubuntu Mate, this distribution is the gold standard. I've had other YouTubers kind of agree or have their own opinions of it. I believe Linux Quest, Rob Collins used that term, gold standard. I believe QuidsUp. Well, when it comes to security, QuidsUp is probably one of the more knowledgeable about this, about security issues in general. Bab says, I don't use Linux, used Ubuntu in the past. Okay, did you like Ubuntu? Didn't like it? You liked it, but it wasn't for you? Just out of curiosity, when I first started using Ubuntu years ago, it wasn't quite polished yet. I am awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. I am awesome. Got it. I see now. Yes, just the way you spelled it. Okay, cool. Cool. I apologize. And you are awesome for joining me. Thank you. So yeah, the Software Boutique. I've talked about this before. It is awesome. It's just simple. I think for beginners, this is great. As they become more advanced, they can go into the Synaptic Package Manager. But all of this was designed, and probably Martin Wimpress probably took a lot of feedback, I'm guessing, from people like us, from his friends, maybe from his wife, and say, what are you looking for in an operating system? And this is what he came up with. So yeah. Dagan's Tech Adventure. Hello. Thought to say I've seen Ubuntu 17.04. I've seen Unity 8, but I have problems with Unity 8. Well, it is no more, at least not officially. Unity is going to be forked, and who knows if it'll be forked up. Somebody said that Instead of all these forks, there should be focus. Okay, that makes sense to me. Bleach bit I use, Brasero. It works for me. Deconf editor. Yep. The Terminator. Good to be here. I was on the Destination Linux podcast with Rocco and Rob. And of course, with everything that's going on YouTube, advertisers pulling out because of questionable or not family-friendly content, and two of their podcasts got taken down or demonetized or something, and they didn't know why, what was going on, and then I had the joke. I said, "We are being terminated." Anyway, Massacre says, "Do you think GNOME 3 is going to do anything positive for Ubuntu once they switch and port their styling?" Oh boy. Yes, I believe in the long run the answer is yes. I did a quick test of the latest Ubuntu GNOME, and it seems to run a little smoother. It ran a little smoother. It seemed like Massacre there were more tweaks, more extensions in there. I could be wrong. Like I said, I need to download it again and test it again and maybe do a full live show in just Ubuntu GNOME. But I do believe in the brief moment I spent with it, it was a more positive experience. And Ubuntu GNOME, you need to have the tweaks or the extensions to make it usable, really, for anybody. So if they can make it, if they keep going, if GNOME keeps going in the direction that I think they're going, I think it'll be more usable and it'll make people forget Unity. So I think the answer is yes. And of course, you may know that the Ubuntu, the official flavor of Ubuntu GNOME, that team is going to merge with the Unity desktop. If you guys don't know, basically, yeah, Ubuntu Unity is officially gone. The display, I have some notes here briefly. The display, you remember the display server Mir versus what, Wayland? I guess that's gone. You guys know that the CEO resigned from Ubuntu. The Ubuntu phone is gone. What else do I have here? And yeah, and of course Unity will be forked. And as far as the future of Ubuntu, it remains to be seen, but I do believe that it will be positive. That is my personal opinion. You tried Ubuntu Mate, I do like the interface. I remember that it had problems in VirtualBox, but since I saw using it, I thought to play around with it. Yeah, I'm running it in a VirtualBox here, as you can see. Just did this today. It seems okay. The install process did not take that long, and so yeah. The Mate tweak, you guys may have seen this. Plasma 5. Anime asks what I think of Plasma 5. I haven't played with it that much. I think I did once. It seemed okay. I believe at the time, it maybe still is, resource hungry, resource heavy. But as far as the looks, I think it looks great. One of my favorite distros that I've tested is Netrunner, which I believe uses that Plasma 5, and it looks pretty slick. Mainstream Ubuntu or mainstream Linux distros, I believe, are getting better, more polished. If you guys have any thought on that, let me know. And mainstream, I mean like what I use: Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint, Netrunner. You know, distros like that, I believe, are getting very good. Screen tearing, yeah, that seems to be somewhat of a common issue, Dank, in Linux. Looking at the tweaks here, many choices to change the looks of Ubuntu Mate, Cupertino, Pantheon, Of course, Gnome 2 Mutiny to make it look something like, yeah, Ubuntu Unity. But yeah, I mean, Ubuntu Mate is Katie has come a long way. Yes. You know what? I'm just going to call it today or tonight, guys. Ubuntu Mate is my Linux desktop of the year for 2017. I know it's still early, but all the opinions on YouTube about this are positive, better than positive. I'm going to give this my gold star for 2017. Ubuntu Mate is awesome. You know, I know there are many choices when it comes to Linux distros, but it just works. So yeah. It seems dank when it comes to Linux. NVIDIA seems to play a little bit better. I could be wrong, but from my experience, it seems more compatible in general. So yeah, the additional drivers here, again from my card, there aren't any proprietary drivers, but it seems to work okay for the most part. I have tried Ubuntu in the past. The Linux Mint XFCE version seems pretty nice. Again, with Linux, with all Linux distros, you have more control over your operating system. And I think that's where Windows 10 is a bit lacking. Yeah, I've had many comments that people cannot switch fully to Linux because usually it's either gaming, specific software such as Adobe, and some other issues, which is completely understandable. And I use primarily lately, really this year, probably 60% Linux and only 40% Windows. So it's working for me. Let's go to Windows 10 Task Manager real quick, just out of curiosity. I guess not too bad considering what I'm doing memory usage. This particular machine, and this is my graphics, this is my CPU here, yeah, it's running pretty smooth. One of the ways I tweak Windows 10 to make it run faster is modify the startup programs, such as enable and disabling them. Another way is through the services. I'll probably talk about this in a future video to speed up Windows 10, but overall it runs pretty good. Yeah, just Mark Shuttleworth is going to take over again at Canonical. Of course, he is the founder, so there's no surprise there. Do a quick search here. Well, privacy settings no longer show up in the creators update for some users. Oh man. Well, there goes your privacy out the window. I guess that's a bug. Yeah, this is what I saw. Windows 10 is still a nosy operating system. Microsoft is fixing those confusing Windows 10 privacy message is. What's confusing? Either you have privacy or you do not, right? That's how I see it. Not a bug, it's a feature. Okay. O&O shut up, shut up 10 protects your PC's privacy. What is that? Ski Meister, how are you? Hi, Toast. Good to see you live again. Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah. One of the requests I've had in the past is to do more live events. Yeah, I'm going to try and do these at different time zones. If I can get enough support for the channel, I would love to. If you would like to, excuse me, if you would like to support the channel, ski below. There should be a couple links in the show notes of this. You can help support the channel through Patreon or through PayPal. And if I do more live events, I really do need to get a larger monitor. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, Ski. What Linux do you use, if I may ask? Okay, so I think we can all agree that when it comes to privacy in Linux, that's not an issue, period, right? I think so. So, let's see, what do we have here? O&O, shut up, Ted. I love that name, shut up, Ted. Yeah, shut up, Ted, and let Linux do the talking, or let TOS do the talking, right? Oh my. I see many Windows 10 users complaining about the privacy, but go use Google search. Yeah, well, look, Xanaris, I've talked about this before. Once you go on the web, does privacy really exist? I don't think so. Ski says use Antergos. No. Wow. May I ask why you picked that? It seems like some people are not too crazy about Ubuntu switch from Unity to GNOME Shell. So you like GNOME, I guess. Everyone wants to sniff your packets. I know, man. There's so much smoke here. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, what is this? This is a piece of software called Shut Up 10, protects your PC's privacy against new update changes. So I guess it's probably something similar to Spybot or something. Microsoft playing a game with us over privacy. Yes, games people play. The tool is incredibly simple to use. Just fire it up and you'll present it with a long list of switches. Interesting. You can quickly apply. David Bliss says hello. Hello, David. Welcome aboard. Good to have you here. David, do you use Linux at all? And if I may ask also, where are you from? Welcome to the show. Anyone here use DuckDuckGo? Yes, I do. In Linux, usually. Yeah. DuckDuckGo is fine. The search results are not quite as extensive as Chrome, Gamma HL, but yeah. Oh, Mark, DuckDuckGo. Cool. Let's see here. So, O&O Shut Up 10 bang up to date by implementing new settings that apply to the brand new creators update. This include tracking of okay, so it looks like this is something to integrate with the latest creators update. Let's take a look at this. Let's give them a little plug. Why not? David used Ubuntu and Windows 10 Pro. Okay, cool. What made you pick Ubuntu, David? Shut Up 10 is a tiny portable tool which makes it easy to tweak Windows 10's many privacy settings. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. Seems user-friendly, guys. I don't know. You may have to check this out. Shut Up 10. I love it. DuckDuckGo has become a very usable search. Okay, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, Ubuntu Mate is running very smooth in a virtual machine. Can't really complain too much. This didn't go through the last time ever since the Snowden NSA leaks. I've never been more paranoid about privacy. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Dank. Let's see here. What else? News here. Poll: is Microsoft invading your privacy? Do you really need to ask? The VPN anime, yeah, the Opera web browser has a built-in VPN. Okay, David, so Ubuntu is fast and reliable. You know what? That's what it comes down to. I look for the three S's in Linux, David: stability, speed, and special looks. If Linux has that, it's good to go. You have not had much success with Ubuntu and AMD. Okay, yeah, screen tearing seems to be a common issue in general. Ski. Yeah, Mark, a VPN is definitely a good idea. Yeah, XFC has been around a while, Dank. Let me go ahead and see what else is here. Here is all the data Windows 10 collects about you. Should I click this, guys? Is it safe? I guess I should have asked you guys, is this background music too loud? I don't think it is. I'm just something just to play in the background, but again, it's from the YouTube audio library, free music. Anyway, let's see. Microsoft recently updated its approach to security and privacy ahead of the launch of... Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. You can't even hear the music. Okay, well that's cool. Okay, it was just meant to be in the background. Here, I'll just bring it a little closer. I just brought the mic closer. This is my favorite song. It's Going, Going, Gone. Anyway. Yeah, in the past, I've had better luck with NVIDIA in general, at least for me, Ski. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. Windows 10 users now have a better overview of which actions are recorded at each security level. Able to toggle the following privacy settings: location, speech, diagnostics. Can't you do this now, some of it at least, or most of it, without the update? I thought you could. Basic diagnostics. The basic level of diagnostic gathers a limited set of information. Okay. Yeah, I believe there is a setting for this now. Collects functionality, hardware, install apps, peripherals, OneDrive, OS updates, error reporting. This option sends Microsoft critical data for the operation, updating, and improvement of the Windows 10 operating system. Full diagnostics. Translated, this means pull your pants down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Show them everything. Why not? It's the pull your pants down option, right? Okay. Full telemetry. Of course it would be. Linux distros seem to have a solution. For NVIDIA. I guess so. Okay, so users can switch between full and basic. I think I can do that now, although it does not look like this. So anyway, that's what Windows 10 collects. The coolest features in Windows 10. Okay, I'll bite. I don't want to make this an entirely Windows 10 show. We'll do a quick search in Linux, see what's up. Paint 3D, more gaming features. That's cool. Books in the Edge browser. You know what? The Edge browser is a very nice browser. Nightlight. This is a standard feature in Ubuntu GNOME. I guess less stressful on the eyes, I suppose. Alright, choose privacy settings. Again, one master switch would have been nice, but no. Okay, apped up movies. Okay, let's go ahead and get out. So, anyway. You know, it's funny. I'm searching for Windows 10 privacy tips in a Linux virtual machine. The coolest feature of Windows 10 is the uninstall. Well, that's always been there, right? Right, Ski? Oh my. Grandma says can't hear music. That's okay. Again, it's just something in the background. You know, because my mic. I mean, you guys can probably hear that, but yeah, I just got it playing in the background. Five best Linux desktop distributions. I wonder if Ubuntu Mate is on this. You guys want to chime in? Will it be on this top 5 list, Ubuntu Mate? Before I click it? Yeah, MasterCore, unless you do have one of the few AMD graphics cards that are supported, yeah. If you go to the AMD website, there's a list there of what is currently supported. So anyway, corporate Linux Mint. Let's click. Da 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 da. Okay, well, let's see what we have. Ubuntu. Ten reasons you should try Linux. The number one reason is Total OS Today, of course. Okay, let's see what do we have here. The 5 best desktop distributions. Ubuntu Linux Mint, OpenSUSE, Tumbleweed, really? Fedora, Remix OS? That's interesting. But there you have it. The Ubuntu Mate is not on here. Boo! 10 reasons you can try Linux. Let's see if I agree. It's free. Okay. Better security. I've heard that before. Great for older systems. Perfect for new. Yep. Drivers included. Usually. Amazing software repository. Yeah. Repositories. Easy update process. Definitely is a plus in Linux versus Ubuntu. Beautiful interface. It can be, sure. Gaming continues to improve. Well, this list covers pretty much the things I've talked about. But man, why did they pick OpenSUSE and Fedora? The top 5. Well, I guess I'm thinking more beginners, right? Can you game on the open source drivers but not the open source NVIDIA ones? Huh. Good question. Okay, so we're going into hour 2 of the show, and that's fine with me. Had a pretty good dinner and coffee and stuff, so I'm good. If you're joining late, this is a live event on the Total OS Today Technology channel. I've been comparing Windows 10 to Ubuntu Mate. The latest Ubuntu Mate is 17.04. Running it in a virtual machine, which you see here, running pretty good. Running this, with Windows 10 as the host. If you would like to support more live events, please do through Super Chat, Patreon, or PayPal. The links should be below in the show notes of this video. Bad Wolf Plays, welcome. No, Bad Wolf, I am not on the Creator's Eye. Will have to wait until I'm forced, although I believe there are some tweaks to prevent the Creator's Update. But Bad Wolf, do you have it? The Creator's Update? I do not. The problem of Linux is too many distros. Well, yeah, David, I would kind of have to agree. That's one of the reasons why I'm here, to help, at least for beginners and intermediate users, to sift through all this. Excuse me, to make it easier. But yeah, there's a saying: too many cooks spoil the broth. I got forced into it today. Okay, Bad Wolf, is it good or bad, or you don't know yet? Can you talk about Windows programs alternatives on Linux? Well, Alan, I know for some, maybe for a lot of users, they can't use Linux because of specific programs. And I will say this, that Linux lags in, Al, is multimedia suites. With Windows, you have Adobe. With Mac, you have Final Cut Pro. I believe Adobe is available also for Mac, but multimedia seems to lag. And part of that maybe has to do with graphics drivers. But I will say this: there are pretty decent programs for both Windows and Linux, Al, such as for video editing. Shotcut, just like it sounds. OBS, I think, is pretty good. The screencaster for both Windows and Linux. But finding comparable, high-quality alternatives in Linux that are used primarily in Windows or Mac, I think that seems to be the #1 issue. And I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers, with hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers, high revenue, they only use Mac. They don't even want to mess with Windows, let alone Linux, for various reasons. So I think it all depends what is necessary for the user and what software they need to use to get the particular job or the chore done. If that makes any sense. I didn't mean to ramble. Sorry about that. But that's how I see it. Anime Kdenlive. There is a beta or an alpha Kdenlive for Windows. It doesn't always quite work right, but I think it's going to get there. Ski says choice is what makes Linux more attractive. Well, sure, it certainly can. What was I going to do here? I'm just checking here. Toast ramble on. You want me to ramble on? Okay. Well, I don't want to make this the ramble show. It's easier with the co-host, but I've been doing this a long time. I don't mind as long as you guys want to stick around. I'm good for tonight. Thunderbird Mail, a nice client. You know, I mean, once again, these basic programs. Who asked me about alternatives? Al, and yeah, you know, basic program software is fine. Cross-platform for both Windows and Linux, such as Firefox and Thunderbird. It's when you get into the specifics, specifically multimedia, such as, you know, Final Cut Pro is probably the best in Mac, and that's when you run into issues. Ski says, heck yeah, you are worth listening to. Thank you. Thank you very much. But anyway, that's my answer. As far as Linux software programs versus Windows and or Mac. One of my podcast partners, Stephanie Forian, she is an independent singer, songwriter. She uses only Mac. She did not want to even deal with Windows, period. Things kept breaking. So there's your answer. Do you think I should keep my Windows 10 behind the creator's update, or would software start breaking later down the line if I try to boot into that partition? I think you're going to be okay. I haven't heard Massacre any major problems with the latest update. I think you're going to be okay. As I've stated before, Windows 10, the major issue is not so much the core system, it seems, but more the politics behind it. So unless you're running into an issue, I would just leave it the way it is and, you know, keep running all the updates. You love Windows 10, Bad Wolf says, but only after blocking the telemetry. I always remove Cortana and Defender. Okay. I have noticed if I shut off Cortana, it runs a little bit smoother. Manjaro Mate and Ubuntu Mate. Okay. Creators Update deletes Google Chrome. Can you re-download it to install? Or just one of those things? Mac is whack. Ski says I would be wary of Windows Update breaking your additional bits. Yeah. My thoughts on Manjaro, David. I tried it last summer. And yeah, let me here I am talking about privacy going to Google. Haha. I know. I tried it last summer for a while, and it the bugs got to me, David. Yeah, I'm a very patient person, but I couldn't deal with it. Yeah. It was promising, I will tell you that. Yeah. I had to install it twice. I got tired of fighting the creators update. Okay. Like I said, there are tweaks. I've heard of tweaks to prevent forced updates. So. Bugs on Manjaro. Yeah, Bad Wolf. I don't know if you're trying to a little bit of sarcasm, but yeah, it's yeah. I knew I was in trouble when I couldn't even play an audio CD in Manjaro. Manjaro is good if you have an NVIDIA. Okay, well there's a bit of advice. Let's go back to the software boutique, one of the pluses of Ubuntu Mate. The 17 release was really bugged, yeah. The Synaptic Package Manager. This has to be a mandatory install for Ubuntu-based distros, in my opinion. And once a beginner gets used to this, or the software boutique, yeah. You're testing Arch, David, in the VirtualBox. It works fine. Okay. Yeah, I believe last year Arch was voted the Linux distro of the year on my channel. Not so much for beginners, but justifiably so. Yeah. You use the terminal. Okay, I don't. Linux distros like Mate, you really don't need to use the terminal that much. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, if someone can get a grasp or master the terminal in Linux, you are good to go. Let's go ahead and do that. Microsoft have included Switch to turn this stuff off. Let me do this real quick here. But we can't trust it because they have demonstrated that even they put these switches in, they don't work. Yeah. GTK3, yeah. Yeah, David, yeah. This was the first package installer I remember my first trip into Ubuntu years ago. This is one of the first things I learned was the package manager, Synaptic. It's awesome. Manjaro is stable distro. I don't know, Bad Wolf. In my test last year, it became unusable towards the end. Yeah, maybe it was just hardware compatibility is a random thing, in my opinion, guys. So yeah. Alright, so that's done there. David says you wish Ubuntu Mate will be the main distro. Well, for a lot of people it is. Yeah. One thing I do like in Windows, looking at the Synaptic Package Manager, so okay. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but this is awesome. Type in anything, Banshee, and anyway. For a beginner, this may be a little bit too much to grasp, but it's not that difficult. The Banshee and extensions and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a great piece of software. Massacre says they might as well replace all the privacy settings with a big button that says the placebo effect on or off. Use privacy settings taken with alcohol. You'll feel better, right? Oh my. Anyway, what was I saying? recovery option. This is good. I will give credit where credit is due. The resetting option in Windows is awesome, and this is what I use. If Windows 10 is running sluggish, if I did something, a misbehaving app, I use this option: keep my files, remove apps and settings, but keep your personal files. I've used this multiple times on multiple machines. For this, I give Windows 10 a 10 out of a 10. They got this right. Extremely user-friendly. Of course, the other option is remove everything, and I don't use that. But this, so if you guys run Windows 10, it's running, crappy. Choose this. It may take a while for this to, reboot several times, do what it has to do, but this is awesome. This is what I do like in Windows 10. So, Resodom, hello. What do I use Windows 10 for? I use Windows 10 less now, but sometimes I'll use it to test programs, to let new users know that if you want to try Linux, Reese, you don't have to give up Windows 10 if Linux doesn't work for you. You can dual boot like I do. So those are some of the reasons, Reese, why I use Windows 10. I have yet to come across a Linux distro. Some have come close, very close, but I've yet to come across one that can completely replace my Windows machine. So Reese, I hope that answers your question. But lately, I'll be honest, I'm using 60% Linux or more and 40% Windows. So I'm not complaining, but this Toss Today, this Total OS Today channel was created years ago primarily for beginners, and I was a beginner 10 years ago, for beginners to say, hey, if you heard about Linux and want an honest, or as best as I can, a straight shooter honest approach, Windows versus Linux, you don't have to give up Windows if you want to try Linux. So Reese, I hope that answers the question. Yeah, the AUR, the Arch user repository, is awesome from what I understand. But anyway, I just wanted to give my opinion on the recovery options in Windows 10. That is absolutely awesome in my opinion. That'll clean up your Windows 10 computer if it's running sluggish. It takes a while, but and you get to keep all your folders, files, and make sure you back up everything first. Anyway, Ski says, toss go to the light, bye bye to wind blows. Maybe one day, Ski, but not right now. I'm sorry. What can I say? So anyway, we're talking about Windows 10 versus Ubuntu Mate. If you're joining late, I'm running Windows as the host and Ubuntu Mate in a virtual box, and both are running pretty good. You heard whatever you guys typed there will surely clean your Windows 10 computer. Haha, yeah. Does that remove everything? I like the speed of Linux, although Windows 10 is not that really slow. I think it's, but yeah. Linux distros like Ubuntu Mate, awesome. Administrator for full effect. Yep. Different themes. Anyway. Delete. Yep. Antivirus. The Windows Defender, the one that came with it. This has gotten better. I've seen some tests where it's done a pretty good job. Anime say, what's holding you back? You mean to completely switch to Linux? The graphics drivers, the hit and miss is probably one of the reasons. Quality of software, stuff like that. But I use this. Who asked the question? Mark. I use this, and I don't believe this is enough to clean or to protect any Windows. I'll use this, and Malwarebytes is another good piece of software, Mark. Super Anti-Spyware is pretty good also. But for myself, right now, since I use Linux usually, malware is not a problem usually in Linux. But when I use Windows, this is what I use. And in both of my machines, both of my desktops, and it runs pretty good. So yeah, at least for me. Malwarebytes, a good choice. Yeah, I've used that for many years. It seems okay. Pedwolf says God get rid of Defender. ESETs is good. Avast is good, and AV. All good choices, Bad Wolf. I cannot argue. But again, for me, right now, at this moment in time, it seems okay. I'm not saying that's what all users should use, but the one for me, and that's all I'm going to say. So, but yeah, those are very good choices, Bad Wolf. Absolutely. ClamTK, yes, I heard that's a very good one. Do you recommend use antivirus on your Linux? You probably should, Massacre, yeah. I don't. Now watch. Everyone's going to attempt to hack me tomorrow. Watch. I don't, but you should. Hi all. GR33 NBits. Welcome. Crypto Prevent. I have heard of that, Mark, on Windows 10. Tremica was another good one. Sure, I believe that's strictly paid, but it's a good one. Windows 10 is a virus. Well, the politics is a virus, maybe, David, maybe, but yeah, a virus. Oh my, that's okay. We can trash Windows 10, all right. I won't trash Linux. I mean, this is really Ubuntu Mate's night, so. Greenbits. I use no Windows for my antivirus. Well, hey, it's fine with me. It's perfect. You're running a scan now, Clam, full system scan. Okay, how long does a scan take, Grandma? HL. Actually uninstalled Avast because of some issues I had on Windows 10. Oh, when Windows 10 doesn't have problems, my system stays at full speed. Avast, now that you mentioned it, Massacre, Avast in the past tends to slow things down a little bit. Although I believe it's more complete protection, but it slows down a little bit. A long time, Grandma. Okay, yeah. Windows 10 is great once you tweak it. Microsoft is the virus. Okay, well, again, now we're talking about the politics, right? So anyway, as I was saying, if you're tuning in late, comparing Windows 10 with Ubuntu Mate, Windows 10, the core system is fine. The update process, the privacy issues, I do not like. I don't think, why would anybody like that, right? Windows 10 does work. I mentioned the recovery options in Windows 10 is awesome when you can reset your computer, your Windows 10, and keep all your files. That is awesome. Yes, Mark, the best defense is user education. Absolutely. Bad Wolf, I'm agreeing with you, Toss. Thank you, Bad Wolf. So that's what I think about Windows 10. Ubuntu Mate, at least as an alternative to Windows 10. Yeah. Or a replacement. Yeah. Trump had more coverage than Verizon. Microsoft wants a piece of your data for profit too. Okay. I guess the internet it's all about data business. I mean, I don't know. So maybe it should be this way, and it's up to the consumer to pick and choose. I don't know. It's just an observation. So yeah. System back. Is that a recovery piece of software, Bad Wolf? I think it is. Like I said, as far as recovery or backups, I use external hard drives. I don't use any specific software, except for Windows 10 for the system recovery. I use that. But yeah. And OS allows you to make it your own. Yeah. Um, let's take a quick search here for some best Linux apps. See what pops up. Bill Baldwin, hello. Your first Windows was Windows 3.1.11 for workgroups in 1994. First Linux was actually Red Hat. Okay. And Fedora and Ubuntu. Very good. Let's see what we have here. Hmm. 50 essential applications. Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, I got a 5 terabyte external drive. I put all my special data on. Won't be losing. Very good. I would recommend you have at least 2 external drives in case one goes kaput. It's rare, but have 2. You have a backup, and there's no such thing as too many backups, in my opinion. Time shift anime. Okay, I have heard of that. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. A bit slow in a virtual box, but not too bad. I have noticed that Firefox seems to be the slowest of all the browsers. Opera is fast. Cupzilla. If you're a refugee from Windows. Windows respin. No. So let's take a look at some top apps. Thunderbird, Geary, Evolution, Firefox or Chrome, LibreOffice, G-Scan, VirtualBox. Again, a lot of these are cross-platform pieces of software for both Linux and Windows. So I think, yeah, I think a lot of Windows users should be fine. You know, trying Linux or maybe go straight to Linux full time. The GIMP I used to create my logo, Pinta, BleachBit I've used, similar to CCleaner. I use CCleaner sometimes in Windows, not as much because the built-in cleaning option in Windows 10 is pretty good. Scud Cloud. Okay. Synaptic, there we go. Use that. Dropbox, VLC, the tweak tool is good. I wonder if that's going to go away though, with Unity going away or being forked. I don't know. Subline, Atom, Note, brackets, Cheese I've used before. Crash Plan, backup utility. Okay, for Linux. The plan is don't crash, right? If your data isn't backed up in at least 2 other places, it doesn't exist. What did I just say? Make sure you have at least 2 backups or 2 external hard drives. There you go. Yeah, David, React OS. Yeah, that's been in development for over 10 years. Is this still in beta or alpha? Anyway, Genymotion. If you develop Android, you'll need some to test your code. Okay, Tomahawk music player I've messed with before. The System Monitor, GNOME, Conky I've messed with before. The Linux alternative to Rain Meter. Okay. Transmission, QBitTorrent to download Ubuntu ISOs, Linux ISOs, Tixati, BitTorrent client. Steam for gamers again. Cross-platform. Windows and Linux. Wine I've tried in the past to run Windows applications. I haven't had good luck. Play on Linux also. VeraCrypt, the TrueCrypt project. FileZilla, very good. Pigeon don't use Skype occasionally. Brasero I use. Audacity, another cross-platform. Very good software. OpenShot I've tried to use. Yeah, never had luck. Handbrake, another cross-platform. record my desktop. One of the very first screen recorders for Linux. I don't think it's been updated, I don't know, 10 years? It's been a while. Kazam I still use, WinFF, Video Converter.use, and Nmap. So yeah, I would say a fairly good choice for essential Linux apps. Wine, that's why I have a Windows partition. Well, hey, that's why I dual boot. I figure if I have to use Windows, then I'll just boot into Windows. Duh. Let's see what OMG Ubuntu has to say about must-have apps. Bad Wolf says I don't root. I rooted to one or two of my Android tablets. Yeah. Mark says limited success with Wine. Oh yeah, it's just easier for me just to boot into Windows because I know it's going to run. I mean, I don't want to, tweak anything. But that's just me, Mark. Yeah. So we're on the OMG Ubuntu website. Let's see what they pick. Yuri email client. Okay. Google Chrome browser. Okay. Hey, Google Chrome browser, it's fast, it's stable. I use it. I was trying to run a live event in Firefox and it didn't work. Something about outdated plugin. And the Hangouts did not work. So I had to use, it's either Chrome or Chromium. The GIMP, another good cross-platform video or photo editor for both Linux and Windows. Yep, VLC, good choices. Here we go, Tweak Tool again. Caffeine, lock screen inhibitor. Yeah. Kdenlive, the premier video editor for Linux. It has everything. Yeah, been using that a long time. You're digging Chromium. Yeah, it's pretty good, Ski. Dropbox. Anybody use a lot of cloud storage applications? I don't use too many. Franz messaging client. Have not heard of that one. You like how the official Ubuntu website makes no mention of the word Linux? It's probably in there somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. I've tested Etcher USB writer. Yeah. Yeah. Bad Wolf Chrome and Netflix seems to work pretty good from what I understand. Multiple DE on Intergos. That's nice. Only password protected documents. Okay. Once again, Steam, NeoFetch. Do not know that one. Corebird I've heard of. Ubuntu Cleaner. Feed Reader. Weather Indicator. Shutter. Yeah, sure. Unity folders. That might go away. I don't know. Clementine, a very good music player. I remember one of the first times I downloaded Clementine and I'm hearing rain and I thought, is it raining? And what it is, it has a default rain track. I mean, just rain. And it was weird, but anyway. Go for it. Task Manager. That's a great name. Go for it. Other essential apps. Peak, GNOME, Twitch, WonderTux, Rambox. So, well, I like OMG Ubuntu. It's a pretty good website. Unity may ditch Thunderbird, ship with no email app. Well, that's interesting. Some news just posted 2 hours ago. I wonder why they would do that. Have you tried GNOME Shell? I thought about posting a poll about this, so let's see what they have to say. So once again, if you're joining late or watching this late, I've been comparing Windows 10 to Ubuntu Mate. Briefly, both OSs are usable, get the job done. What I don't like in Windows 10 is the update process, options, the forced updates, and the privacy thing. Of course, those are not an issue in Linux distros in general. I guess my number one problem right now with Linux, if I had to pick one, are video drivers. Graphics drivers are a hit and miss. So, let's see what we have here. Have you tried GNOME Shell as a result? No, yes, no, I have not tried. I've tried. What do you think? If you guys can see this, what do you think? Before I click View Results, what do you think the results of this will be? And no, I have not tried GNOME Shell since. Don't plan to. Yes, I've tried it as a result. I have not tried GNOME Shell since, but plan to. Yeah, I guess Ubuntu will be switching to Wayland Massacre, yeah. Let's view results. See what we got. 57%. I have tried GNOME Shell as a result, but do they like it? 22% don't plan to. Okay. You can sync GNOME extensions between desktops using Google. I guess that's good. Yeah. Make Ubuntu look like Windows. I guess if you want to feel comfortable. Just out of curiosity. Do a search here. Guess you'll now have to install a mail client yourself like other software. Yeah, sure, Massacre, it's, you know, it's not that hard, so many choices. Since we're doing a Linux versus Windows, let's search the web real quick here. Recently, Linux Redditor took the time to install Windows 10, do some exploring while he found Windows 10 to be prettier version of Windows. As it wasn't, he realized that Linux still beats Windows as okay. Let's click that. Let's see what we got here. I'm impressed how good Ubuntu Mate runs in a VirtualBox. Not bad at all. You know, considering I'm multitasking here, many windows open. So yeah. If you're joining late, again, welcome aboard. If you'd like to see more live events like these at different time zones, consider supporting the channel through Patreon or PayPal. And let me know what you guys would like to see in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down here. Linux still beats Windows 10. Okay? I won't go through all of it, just see if anything catches my eye here. You guys may want to check out this article here on InfoWorld. But in 2016, there is nothing this OS does that Linux cannot. Well, I don't know. I suppose in many regards, but you know, there are a lot of people, they just have to stick with Windows for specific, probably quality of the apps. Toss, what do you think about Ambox? I'm not familiar with that, Bad Wolf. What is Ambox, if I may ask? Good night, M&A. Thanks for joining in. Oh, Android on Ubuntu. I haven't tried it. How's it work? I think I tried Android on a desktop, Android OS. Yeah, I don't know. I think it makes sense to make a mass-marketed Android desktop because of all the phones and tablets. Since Android is based off Gen 2 Linux. Oh, it's a snap package. Okay, how does it work? Does it work okay? "12 reasons why Linux is better." Okay. Windows 10 is slow on older hardware. I guess it would be. Although I installed Windows 10 in an older dual-core machine, and I was impressed. With just 4 gigs of RAM, which is not a lot for Windows, so I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I guess if it's a really older machine, but I'm not sure about that reason. Windows is slow. You don't like the Windows 10 user interface. I can certainly understand the Windows 8. People didn't like it, but Windows 10 is fine. There's nothing wrong with this, in my opinion. The size of the Windows 10 download is huge. Okay, I guess that's a problem. What isn't slower on old hardware? Yeah, I would have to agree, Ski. Linux is free. Okay. Although Windows 10 was a free upgrade. Linux has many more free applications. That's true. But how many of them are very good or bug-free? So I'm not sure about reason 5. Again, it's strictly from my experience. Security, well, Windows 10 I believe is very secure, but you have to maintain it. Yeah, such as, you know, antivirus, anti-spyware, stuff like that. Performance, I don't know. I think Windows 10 performance is pretty good. Privacy, yep, what can I say? Well, speaking of, you know, privacy, yeah. So, bye guys. Bye David. How many Windows apps are bug free? I don't know. I haven't tested all of them. Bad Wolf, I don't know. Reliability? Well, I guess both can be equally reliable, but with Linux, you know, there are 600 between the forks and the main distros. I've read there are over 600 versions of Linux, if not more. They can't all be reliable, can they? And let's see. Being sarcastic. Updates. Don't you just hate it when you need to print out those tickets at the cinema, or need just to print directions and to turn on your computer and see updating? Yeah, well, look, the forest updates. I know. Variety. Windows, Linux is customizable. Yep. Support. I suppose it's better in Linux. So those are some of your reasons. 12 reasons why Linux is better than Windows 10. And box. Let me do that, Bad Wolf. At least the Linux will reboot on you when you try to file over Bluetooth. I know, I know. You know, I wonder when Windows 10 came out, you know, with the free upgrade, and people thought like myself, oh cool, it's free for Windows, yeah. And then we found out later about the forced updates and reboots right in the middle of something. I wonder what percent of the population cursed and used bad words. Probably it was like a loud chorus, if I had to guess. Mbox runs Android apps on Linux. Well, that's interesting. It's pre-alpha state. Okay, that's really, yeah. Okay, so that's Mbox. I don't know. Again, I think there is a need, or there might be a market for a mass-marketed Android desktop. To do was add .txt to the end of the app. Okay. APK. Alright. That is Mbox. Once again, when it comes to Linux, many choices, many variations. Android in a box. Container, okay. No limits, secure, performant, integrated, okay. I'm just reading this, guys. Go ahead and keep typing your, you know, in your chat. I'll try to go back and forth. I'm just curious about this a little bit more. Desktop device, however, recent experiment show still runs a few tweaks. Okay. I mentioned Netrunner OS. I've always liked testing this one in the past. I believe they have two choices: a rolling and a non-rolling distribution. If anything, for the looks and the tweaks of this one. So you may want to check this out if you have not. And there's the Plasma, the latest Plasmas. Yeah, I think Plasma is pretty cool looking. But I believe Plasma is more resource intensive. Are you guys happy? Whoever uses Plasma with it so far? Dolphin File Manager, very good file manager, one of the best in my opinion. Let's see, Massive Core. The only problem I had with KDE with the GTK apps not always matching the theme. Okay. Bad Wolf is back. I'll be back. Very good. Yeah, Dolphin, one of the best file managers out there. SM Player I've used. It's pretty good. You have a beefy computer so you can handle it. Okay. Gmusic browser. Yeah, I've tested this in the past. It's not too bad. Boy, when it comes to media players, so many choices. It's crazy. Krita. Painting. Inkscape, I believe you can use this in conjunction with Blender, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go, Kdenlive, one of the best, if not the best video editor. Kate, Pigeon and Skype. I have not downloaded the latest Skype because it's still in beta, so. Yakwake, yaka. I'm so awesome says you love Plasma. Okay. Yeah, the CPU and memory usage, yeah. I would have to agree it's a little high. Battle, yeah, the Ambox. I mean, it looks interesting, but I'm not sure what the end game is. But you know, a mass market Android desktop I would consider. But that's just my opinion. Hey, once again, the Synaptic Package Manager, one of the best. Steam Client, very good apps. So minimum system requirements for this: 1.6, 1 gig of RAM, probably more like 2 gig of RAM. Video memory 128. If you want to try Netrun and VirtualBox, 1.5 gig minimum. Yeah. SlimJet. Yeah, that's a web browser. Yeah, I have heard of that. Chromium-based browsers, SUCK balls. I gotta watch what I say as a family channel, but that made me laugh. Looks beautiful. Yes, it does. I'm just looking through the comments here. Anyway. Never tried KDE, my Intel Core i5, 8 gig of RAM computer. Oh, you should have plenty of power there. Yeah, 2 gig of RAM is going to be a little slow, that one. Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, Netrunner OS, I've always liked playing with it. As long as you have enough RAM, you should be okay. Just out of curiosity. All the main ones are here. Browsers. I've tried Midori, Conqueror, Cupzilla, very lightweight. Oh yeah, Vivaldi, very good. Yeah, SeaMonkey. I've tried Dillo. I was thinking of the other Dill. Never mind. Flock. That rings a bell. Phoenix OS. All right, give me a second here. Swift Weasel. Interesting. What's that? How hard do you think a Linux How hard do you think a Linux tree so-called Linux would flop? Well, they're all Linux based. I'm not sure what you mean in Massacre. How do you Linux distro called? You mean just the distro itself called Linux? Well, Linux in itself isn't an OS. It's a kernel. Even though sometimes I'll say Linux OSs, but you know it's a kernel. It's a bridge between the hardware and the software. Flock is a social browser. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Swift Weasel is a build of Mozilla Firefox. Let's see what else that says. Just curious. I've not heard of this. Plop distro. Plop, plop. Let's check it out real quick. And we'll check out Phoenix OS. Ooh. Last update 2010. Okay, enough of that. Oh my. Okay, Phoenix OS. Okay, we have just passed hour number 2. Thanks for sticking around. I'll stick around for a little bit longer. I felt good today. I felt energized. I think because the weather was nice, no humidity. Anyway, Phoenix OS, Android based. Oh, okay. Starting from fashion, returning to classics. Further research on the Android platform. Has anybody tried Phoenix OS? Looks pretty cool. Classic starting. Yep. The classic start menu. Let's see. Massacre, you've tried Debian a couple times and it gave me more trouble than I was expecting. Well, that's interesting. Debian stable is usually pretty good. Did you try that version? I've had it before, tested. It seems okay. That's Poop OS? Okay. Sudo did today. Okay. Anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I have to try this. Yeah, it's been 2 hours. You know, I have to tell you, I could certainly understand why people like to join in with these because, as they say, time flies when you're having fun. So, yeah, it's, you know, unless I'm doing something else or tired, it doesn't seem like it's basically you're watching a 2-hour movie that's worth it. I suppose that's one way to. But yeah, I am so awesome. 74, 78. It's, yeah, look at the time right here. 11:06. I started this at 9. So Debian stable will probably be an archived OS soon. Did not know that. Yeah, the stable is not as robust software, the amount, as others. That is true. Hi. Teddy J9279. Hello. Time flew by in general today. Well, I've had fun doing it. But yeah, this is one of the more common requests I've had in the past for more live events. Happy to do these. So if you would like to see more live events, consider becoming a patron. This would really help out in doing more live events and, you know, more stuff like that. So yeah, consider chipping in if you can for as little as $1 a month. Really, that's all it takes. The new lead is a hipster who thinks that cutting edge is a new norm. Well, when you mess with cutting edge, you may get cut. Right? Anyway, so this Phoenix OS looks pretty slick. I might have to try this. The Stardust browser. Here we go with another browser. All right, I have to search that browser. Now you got me thinking. Great name, Stardust browser. On Android apps, okay? But anyway, yeah, I've had pretty good luck with Debian stable in the past. So, you know, the repositories are not as robust, but they're more into again stable versus the latest software. So, I mean, once someone gets used to an easier Linux-based system such as Ubuntu Mate, anyway, you can try Debian stable. Debian stable is I don't know if it's pointless. But Ubuntu, we got to, yeah. LTS releases. That's all for my main, like doing this. If I'm not doing it in Windows, I prefer LTS. I just don't want to keep upgrading it every, what is it, 9 months? Yeah. I had to mute my mic. I just sneezed 3 times in a row. Maybe it's good luck. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed versus other Ubuntu flavor. Well, OpenSUSE, I don't believe it's based off Ubuntu. I believe it's a rolling type of distribution, and I don't recommend, if it's what I think it is, I don't think I would recommend that for beginners. So yeah, bless you. Yeah. I mean, I had to mute my mic because at 3 in a row I sneezed. I don't want to do that live. Live around the world, coming into your rooms, the Sneeze Channel. Anyway. What good is a stable system if it feels broken with a lot of tweaking? Interesting. Massacre, yeah, interesting. Oh my. Noobs Lab is another great website for beginners. So we're passing hour 2. Once again, if you're joining late or watching this late or whatever after it's uploaded to YouTube, this has been a comparison from a Windows user like myself between what you see here, Windows 10, and a great alternative and possibly a replacement to Windows 10, which is Ubuntu Mate, my Linux desktop of the year. That's right, I'm calling it now, or an hour ago. So there you go. Yeah, the big news. You heard it right. Going back to GNOME. Will GNOME find multiple homes in the US? I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to download Ubuntu GNOME again. Maybe do a live event just on GNOME. We'll go from there, guys. I don't know. By the way, let me go through this real quick. Cute. Well, some people will fork it. Yep. The future of Ubuntu is still bright. I would have to agree. Mirror display is gone. Yeah. Mark Shuttleworth, I believe, let me check something. There was an interview done recently, and Turgos, no, and I may check that out if I have a chance, Ski. Mark Shuttleworth is taking over again at Canonical, and I believe Cat 5 TV was able to nab an interview with Mark Shuttleworth. not mistaken. Category 5, one of the more underrated uh, tech channels on YouTube. They do a lot on a limited budget. Very, very talented team from Canada. And I believe, let me click here, I believe I got a notification today. Yeah, Mark Shuttleworth speaks on the future of Ubuntu. I would love to speaking to Mark as a Windows dual booter. But check it out. You might find this interesting. Again, a plug for Category 5 TV, Tech TV on YouTube. Again, an underrated YouTube channel. They do a very good job with various guests, ordinary people, you know, like myself, talking about, they talk about primarily Linux, some Windows. But check out the interview, and this is like it's going to be about an hour long, so I have to watch that tomorrow. Teddy, yeah, check it out. Again, it's Category 5 Technology TV. Well, since I'm on YouTube, let's do a little plug here for my own channel. Yep, we are live now. Yep, I did do an Ubuntu Mate live event. Check out my appearance on the Destination Linux podcast. It's here somewhere, or I mentioned it here somewhere. I actually had Rob Collins on. Holy cats, we should be on YouTube. Well, in a way, you guys are. Yeah, this is it here. If you guys, I believe this here, where it says Live Toss Today Linux Quest, I was able to, this is a free audio download of the podcast. If you want to take it with you and plug it into your, you know, your phone or your iPad and play it in your car, it is a free download, audio download. I think for a lot of people, now that the weather's getting nicer, at least here I live, people, you know, will get out walking, clean the garage, just want to listen to it. But yes, Ski, you should be, baby. We all should be on YouTube. So if I click that, that should be us. Should try Win10 and a VM on Ubuntu Mate. Anyway, this is us. This is what we're doing. Alive around the world. Yep. I like doing these. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. YouTube. Yeah, the downloader. Yeah, if you're using Linux. Yeah. Yeah, I take the video file of the live show I did, and then I'll use either Kdenlive or something to transcode into an audio file. I'll do the editing, you know, in Audacity or Kdenlive, then upload it, the live the podcast to archive.org. Not just Linux, okay. And adjust this here, but yeah, this is us. And here you are to the right. Yeah, we are live around the world. Ski is from Hanoi Falls, New York. I was born in Brooklyn. Nice. Anyway, that's us here. So, but yeah, we are. I guess we're all famous for tonight. I don't know. Um, Gnome boxes. I have Steam installed and can play Fallout 4. Okay. 30% loss. Okay. Um, yeah. Oh, you're from the Bronx, Beowulf. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Hey, pass the cannolis, okay? Sometimes I'll turn on and off my Brooklyn accent, but I was born in Brooklyn. Oh, don't forget to vote for the April YouTuber of the month. One comment equals one vote. Thanks for all of you who vote for me. Always greatly appreciated. But if you want to vote for me or help out the channel, just support me through Patreon or PayPal. But thank you. 3D accelerated games in a VM. I think you can, but I'm not sure how you would tweak it. You guys may want to check out the live event I did, Privacy for Sale. Yeah. A lot of comments on that one. How to make audio better for podcast. Do you mean you're thinking about doing a podcast and how to make it sound better, or how to make the flow of the podcast better? I'm not sure what you mean. I need more information. I am awesome. Yes, some of my podcast with singer Stephanie Forian. She's a former YouTuber of the month. For those of you who use iTunes, of course, I have an iPad. You can download those for free. I did do a show with her. It's called Windows, Mac, and Music, I think. And she was nice enough to give us a little free concert, 3 of her songs on there. So I think it's called Windows, Mac. Let me see. Yeah, this one here. Check it out. She explains a little bit why she pretty much has to use only Mac because of her specific uploads that she does. Again, it's each person has to use specific software, but for her, with her music, she writes everything and does everything on a Mac. She has to. And she couldn't even really deal with Windows. But you may want to check out this live event here. It was a lot of fun. Great gal from Boston, currently living in Munich of all places. But it was a fun show, and but check it out. Yeah. Guess I can skip my own ad, huh? I went inside my first Apple store, not working to skip, last year, and I was impressed. But yeah, that was me. This is weird, showing a previous live event inside a live event. Okay, why not? Now, where she lives, she has her internet, I believe, is DSL. It's on the slower side, so the video quality was okay. But that's her there. So very nice, very nice lady. I mean, let's say you have a podcast already and you need to edit it and make the flow of the podcast. Oh, okay, and make it clearer. Uh, there's an Apple iMac in the closet. Oh, so it's coming out of the closet, huh? Anyway, check out this live event here. But well, as far as making it sound better, it's going to be easy if you have a decent microphone. Logitech is pretty good, inexpensive. Right now I'm using just a single headset mic with a USB adapter. But Logitech is pretty good. Now there are other very good mics out there. Yeti, Snowball, I believe they're called, something like that. As far as the flow of the podcast, boy, that is something where you're going to have to practice with if you're planning on doing it. If the flow is if the flow is bad, or if the flow is not flowing, as it were, it's going to be very, very difficult to improve the flow of a podcast. Cutting my heads off here, our heads off. It's going to be impossible, in my opinion, to improve the flow of the podcast if the original conversation is not, if the rhythm is not there, if that makes any sense. Now, you can delete or cut down on the gaps of the pieces of silence, in Audacity or Rhythmbox or Kdenlive, so it runs a little smoother there. I think a good example of a good flow of a podcast is what you're seeing here, which is really a video podcast. I am awesome, but it takes practice. I've been doing podcasts for quite a few years now, and after a while you get used to the flow. It's easier when you have a podcast partner where you and that person just connect. With me and Stephanie, I think because our personalities matched, and she's a people person like myself. I mean, she writes music, she goes on stage, she's been all over the world, and I think that made it easier. But if you're looking for a good example of a video podcast, take a look at this one. But I will say this, talking a little faster is better than talking really slower. I would avoid any kind of extensive pauses like well, this and that. I think you know what I mean, if that helps you out. But in terms of audio quality, start off with a decent mic. It doesn't have to be expensive. I think I posted some links in below of this particular live event on some recommended Amazon products. I believe Logitech is there, so check it out. But once you do it, and let's say that the volume was a little low, sure, that could be corrected, not a problem. In Audacity or Kdenlive. But to improve the overall flow, if the overall flow of the podcast isn't good to start with, that's going to be tough. What I would suggest if you're thinking about doing podcasts is just record yourself, play it back several times, do several recordings, or you can upload, do a live event, but you can choose the unlisted option. I am Austin 7478 versus the public option. So it's unlisted, it's private. Do a podcast with a friend or someone. Once you're done, go to it, play it back since it's private or unlisted, and see what you think. But it does take practice, and I've been doing this for a few years, so for me it's natural. I hope that helps you out. But improving the technicality of a podcast, I think, is easier than having the overall flow and rhythm of a podcast. That, I believe, takes practice. The ones I've done in the past with Spatry from Spatry's Cup of Linux, I think that's a great example. Since all of those, I think, were audio podcasts, I think maybe one video. That's a great example of a very fast-moving, flowing audio podcast. Video podcast like this with Stephanie is a great example, I think, of a video podcast. And of course, it helps if she tosses in 3 of her songs to help fill in time. I guess in a way that's cheating. Well, not really, because I kind of asked her, and I think everybody knew in this particular live event that she's a singer. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I look like a Brooklynite. Yes, I do, man. See what I'm saying, man? Good night, Bad Wolf. Yeah, I'll probably log off here soon. So yeah. It's been a lot of fun, guys. 2.5 hours. So yeah, if you're gonna do a podcast or a live show, do it with a partner. I think it's gonna be a lot easier. I think audio podcasts are easier than video podcasts. You don't have to worry about lighting, the camera, how do you look and stuff like that. And practice. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah, I think if you check my channel, I think I posted a couple of videos on tips on podcasting, just basic stuff. If I'm not mistaken. So you may want to check that out. Yeah. But the more you do these, I suppose it's kind of like riding a bike. In the beginning it's rough, but then you never forget. So, but that's the best way to, get rid of the rough edges. Anyway. What about Toss tomorrow? Oh man, another live event tomorrow? Um, if that's what you mean, probably not. I wouldn't mind doing daily live events. We'll see how popular this is and how much support the channel can get. Once again, if you guys want to see more of these, I'll be happy to take the time to do one. I just need a little bit more support with the channel. Like, for example, getting a bigger monitor would definitely help. But again, all the links will be below. Just check out Patreon or PayPal and the Amazon links. But Toss tomorrow sounds pretty good. No, I am not an NBA fan, Kevin. Usually watch football and baseball. Usually. Who's I talking to? But yeah, here's how to podcast from last year. You may want to check these out. So that might help you out. Yeah, how to boost the podcast MP3 in Ubuntu. Oh man, many. Boy, the Linux A team 5 years ago. Many podcast, parents podcast. Yeah. Windows 8 garbage are great. So many memories. Speaking of podcasts, Star Talk. Great podcast. Infinitely Galactic. Yeah. Anyway. No toss today after tomorrow. I need to sleep. Yeah, I'm probably going to go to bed soon. So, anyway. Let's go to one more website. I think it's been a Dallas Cowboy fan. You would think, being from New York, those teams, not really. Just something about the Cowboys, you know, in the days of Tom Landry, always had that nice classy suit and the hat. But yeah, Cowboys. Baseball, I would say probably Yankees. Yeah, New York team. Let's finish up with one last thought. I'll tell you what. Let's do a search for best Linux podcast. How about that? Linux Unplugged, Link Tech Show, Everyday Linux, Going Linux. Have not heard of some of these. Linux Outlaws, I've heard. Let's take a quick look here. I listen to Mintcast podcast sometimes, and the Ubuntu podcast. Linux Action Show, that is no more, I believe. Yeah. Linux Voice, don't know that one. Going Linux, I think I've heard of that one. Late Light Linux, that's a fairly new one. Linux After Dark. Sunday Morning Linux Review. Yeah, I believe these guys, this show is based out of the US, out of Detroit of all places. You may want to check this out. Sunday Morning Linux Review. Linux Unplugged. Yep. Linux Link Tech Show. Do not know that one. Honorable mentions. Here we go. This is what I listen to. The Ubuntu podcast or Mintcast. Let's give a quick plug here for Mintcast from the Linux Mint community. Building Linux Woes. Ooh. This one, I believe, yeah, I think this one is bi-weekly. I think they do a live show on YouTube. These ones, forgot who was asking about podcasts. This podcast here, in my opinion, a lot of information, a lot of info. They tend to run a little bit long, like an hour and a half, maybe two, which is a little bit too long. I think the rhythm of these podcasts may be a little bit off, in my opinion. Meaning, I don't think these are necessarily for beginners. A lot of great content, great team who people who record these. But if you're going to start off podcasting, I would say try to keep it fairly short until you get more comfortable doing an audio podcast. If that makes any sense. But yeah, this one here has been around many years, maybe 10 years, maybe not, but yeah, good stuff. And then the other one is the Ubuntu podcast, I believe. Yeah. The new Ubuntu mascot. I was not expecting that. Season 10. Yeah, so these guys, I guess, have been doing it 10 years. Season 10, I'm assuming it's 10 years. So check out ubuntupodcast.org. Wonder if that's good on gas. Anyway. Okay. Let's give it a few more minutes, guys. I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks for sticking around. A lot of fun. Let me go ahead and shut this one down. So yeah, if you guys would like to see more of these live events, more topics, more guests, consider supporting the channel. Especially now since YouTube AdSense is a mess. Take care, Ski. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here in a few minutes and go to bed soon. So this has been a comparison, for the most part, I hope, between Windows 10 and Ubuntu Mate, my Linux desktop of the year. Might as well call it, this evening. It's a lot of YouTubers like it. Very easy to learn, to use. Martin Wimpress, the developer, has done a great job with Ubuntu Mate. I think it has a great future, especially for beginners coming to the world of Linux. Excellent. Any last questions or comments, suggestions? Last call. Take care, Mark. I love this music. YouTube Audio Library. Check it out again. Great stuff on there. A lot of talent. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up right now. So thank you to all of you who joined, and hope to see you on the next live event. Might do one with someone someone sent me an invite, maybe Friday evening, I'm not sure, but it would be late, like 11 p.m. Eastern time. I got to go back and look at my messages. I think that's what was mentioned. So anyway, yeah. So if I do one, or if you guys happen to be around, stop by and say hello. I think it's going to be on the. It may not be on my. It may be on Big Daddy Linux. That's who it was. I received an invitation, so you may want to check for that. But it would be Friday, fairly late, at least here. This Friday after 11 p.m. So yeah, I am so awesome 7478. Take care. Yes, it was fun. Well, I really think you should get. Speaking of sleep, YouTube is so calming. Yeah, I love this. I just I went to the YouTube audio library, spent an hour or two, not all tonight, browsing, and check out the two artists is Silent Partner and the 126ers is the other artist. I mean, there's many on there. I just happened to pick those two, and it seems to blend in with this live event. It is calming. It is soothing. Yeah, you don't really, it doesn't really like interfere. Speaking of the flow, having decent background music also helps. Yeah, so. Especially no voices, no people singing, just the music itself I think helps. Kind of like shopping music, like when you go to a store, I guess. Yeah. Alright guys, I am done. Let me shut down my my applications here, and I think I am done for this evening. Alright guys, take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.